This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, today we're going to see what is static method. Previous class I said how to create a instance method. The instance method is nothing but a init, nothing but a constructor. Then how to create a class method I said to you. Now I'm going to say how to use the static method. Where to use static method, when to use the static method I'm going to see. This static method mostly used for creating the utility methods. Utility methods means you can write your own logic, you can pass some parameters. As per the parameters, it's going to give the desired results. That is nothing but utility method. If you take class method, the first parameter will pass as CLS. You'll refer the class name. If you use instant method, you'll pass the first parameter self. Will pass. In static method, no need to pass any self or CLS keyword. No need to pass any self or CLS keyword in static method. It's mostly used for creating a utility methods. Utility method means I can say use a user defined methods. As per your parameter, as per your logic, it's going to give the desired results. Whatever logic you are writing, right? For that logic, it's going to give the some desired results. As well as for the static method, no need to use create any instance. No need to create any instance means no need to create any object. No need. That's why you mentioned that we don't use instance or class variable because the static method don't take any parameter self or CLS keyword. It won't take any parameter self or CLS keyword. Now I'm going to have one notepad. I'm going to have one class called Apple. In the Apple, I'm going to have some constructor. Have some constructor. It's a London methods. Actually, London or magic methods. I'm going to have some. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to have one. So it's a engine methods. I have to use a self keyword, and then I'm going to have one parameter called x, and then I'm going to assign the value. I'm going to assign the value. So it's instance variable equal to x. Self.x is instance variable. Now I'm going to have some method. Method name is I'm giving as method underscore one. Underscore one. And then I add some logic. I'm going to print somewhat hello. Okay. How you call this method? You want to call this method, what you have to do? You want to create an object.
Create an object.
Create an object. First, you have to create an object. Give some reference. I'm going to give some class instance. Nothing but a instance. Instance
Class
means instance name is another name is instantiation. Instantiation means creating an object. Okay. Class name is going to be Apple,
and
and then just and then object one dot underscore one dot. You're going to call the method
method.
underscore one. Like this, you're going to call the method. Like this, you're going to call the method. Now I said a static method. I'm going to declare this method one equal to static method. I used to use a decorator. The decorator I have to mention is static method. Once you create a, see, listen here. Once you creating object, this class instance will search for this apple. This class instance for the apple. Yeah, I have a class apple now. Now in the class, it will search where is the static method. If you see anywhere static, you have to give the first preference. First preference means you have to allocate the memory first for the static. Second preference for constructor. Now, if I'm creating this object like this, now whether my constructor will take memory first or static method will take memory first, which is having high priority.
Static method.
static method, whichever thing is static. It can be a static variable, it can be static method. If you see anywhere static, you have to create a give a first preference for this method. It's going to allocate some memory, and it's again preference for constructor. It's again preference for constructor, and then second if you're going to create an object, then you can able to access memory. And then for the static method, no need to create any object. Static method, no need to create any object. Directly can call. Do you know why? When this class gets loaded, when the class gets loaded, the static method will get the memory first. Directly can call method underscore. What you can call like this. This is the first way. Without creating object, you can create a method underscore and call the method. And then another way I can going to say, you can create object for the class, and then you can call dot method underscore one. What's another way? It's again way. What's third way to call a method? Third way is going to be class name dot method name. What's the class name? Apple. Method name is three ways you can able to call the method. But see is again method. After creating an object, it's going to create what it's going to create. It's going to create object for this entire class. Okay, memory is going to allocate it for this static method once again, and then it's going to take the memory for the constructor. Double times they are doing things, same thing you are doing dual times. Okay, you using the three approaches, you can call the methods. You can call method underscore one, or you can create an object and then call the method, or you can use class name dot method name. You can call. Okay, I'm not going to confuse you. Okay, mostly static method used for general utility methods. You can write your own logics. I can pass some parameter, and then you can call that method. It will be isolation for instant method and class methods. It won't take any parameter. That's why I'm saying isolation. It's separated from the class methods as well as instant methods. It will be isolation. You know to pass any self parameter or CLS parameter. Now, what I'm going to do? Okay. Now, I'm going to get on static method. The example itself. How to create a static method? I'm going to check if the person is greater than 18 is valid to vote. Valid to vote. If the value is less than 18, is invalid to vote. I'm going to write it age validation. Age validation. In that, no need to pass self or CLS parameter because this is going to be a static method. We have to use decorator. Static method I'm going to use. No need to pass any self or CLS parameter, and then I'm going to use return keywords. Return keyword, what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the self.age because to the factory method. This factory method is going to call this constructor, and then whatever value is calculated, it's going to assign to the value of age here. Now I'm going to use self.age. I think you can't able to assign. Hold a minute. I can't use age self for here. Let's see. Greater than 18. Yeah. I already said to you self method. Sorry, static method. You can't use self or CLS parameter. What I can do? What I can do? I can take one. age. Can take on age of person 18. Yeah, okay. Have age. Okay. Yeah, I can do one thing here. I'm going to have one parameter, age parameter, age greater than 18. Okay. Now, if it is greater than 18, I'm going to print is valid to vote. Else is invalid to vote. This is how you can able to create your static method. No need to pass any self or CLS parameter as a first parameter. You can pass age and then I'm going to compare age greater than 18. Now you're going to say how I can call the method. There are three ways to call static method. You can create an object, you can call the method, or you can use class name that method name, or you can use that the method name you can call. Right now, I'm going to use third. I'm going to use third one, class name dot method name. This is a preferred way to to call a static method. Now the class name is student underscore one dot age validation. I'm going to give age is 34. What I'm going to do, I'm going to write an if condition. If condition, I'm going to have a meaningful message valid to vote. Else, I'm going to have invalid to vote. Run these things, I'll get the output as valid to vote. You can see if I give the age 14, it's going to give invalid to vote. Invalid to vote you can do. And then I'm going to have one more example. New, get a py file, static method underscore one. Okay. I'm going to have one class. I'm going to have a class of bikes. And then I'm going to have one constructor. You use the redundant methods or magic methods. I'm going to pass one argument as speed. I'm going to call class instance. Variable name is speed, and then parameter also speed. Otherwise, I can have instead of speed, I can have x. Now I'm going to have one static method. I would use a decorator. Decorator def. Mm, I'm going to have one method, static method. Um, have speed. Okay, calculate mileage. Calculate mileage. Okay, in that no need to pass any self keyword or CLS parameter. It is apart from this class method as well instance methods. Okay, no need to pass any class or self. Just we're going to pass two arguments. Sorry, two parameters are going to pass. One is what I can pass. One I can pass speed. I want to calculate mileage, right? I can pass like I can going to pass speed. Another parameter I want to pass speed. I can pass. Okay, and then I can pass speed. Okay, I'm going to pass only speed parameter. And then I'm going to have one if condition. If speed greater than 50 kilometer, I traveling in more 50 kilometer speed, I'll get the mileages. I'll get the mileages somewhat 50 minus 25. 50 minus 25. Else if speed greater than or equal to 50 and speed lesser than or equal to 60, what am I getting over here? Okay, let it be. I'm going to get return. Sorry, I should not use else if. I have to use elif. Okay, the speed will be 30. Speed minus 30. And then I'm going to have one elif condition. Speed speed greater than 61 and speed lesser than equal to 70. Return speed minus 40. Else you're going to get mileage is only 10. See, mileage depends on speed only. Okay, my speed, I'm driving 50 kilometers, 50 kilometer per hour. Okay, then I get in the mileage equal to speed minus 25. Okay, 50 minus 20 will be I'm going to get minus 25. If my speed is greater than 50 and less than 60, I'm going to get the mileage is minus 30. Speed is 60 means I'll get mileage you're going to get 30. Mileage you're going to get 30. Okay, oh my god. Mileage is P 60. 60 minus 30 will be 30. Okay, what I can do, I can give like 15, somewhat 40, 45, 45, 50, and then if you're traveling more than 80 or 90, I'm going to get the mileage is only 10. This is how you can create a static method. You can write your own logic as per the parameters going to give the desired results. How to call this method? I want to create any object. How to call this method? There are three ways to call a method. You can use class name and method name. Second option is you can create an object and then call the method name. Third, directly you can call the method name. Now I'm going to show class name dot calculator is going to pass and then I'm going to pass 20. For 20, what mileage I'm going to get? My speed is 20. What mileage I'm going to get?
10.
See, 20, see, 20, wait, 20 greater than 50. No. And then 20 greater than 50. No. And then come to the elif 20 greater than 61. No. Right. Finally going to give 10. Now I'm going to pass 120 kilometer per hour. What's the value? One 120 greater than 50. It falls in which category? I want to change the logic here. Speed less than 50. Okay, speed less than 50. 20 less than 50. Okay. Less than equal to 50. Okay. Greater than equal to 50 and less than equal to 60. Okay. And then greater than equal to 60, greater than equal to 61 and less than equal to 70. Now what's the value for 120? It's going to give result as 10 because 120 greater than less than 50. No. It come to the elif condition. 120 greater than 50. No. 120 greater than equal to 50. No. Because I'm checking greater than equal to 50 and less than 60, right? It won't satisfy. For this condition will pass and this condition failed, right? It won't
Hey,
fall in the elif
Risha,
category. And then
Risha,
third can make it mute.
Laura.
And third condition, elif condition. It won't fall in this category. Finally, come to the else
அம்மாக்கு வேலை
block.
இருக்குடா லேப்டாப்ல
I'm going to make it
இப்போ
mute.
பேசிட்டு இருக்கு.
Okay. And then it's going to fall in the category of else block. It's going to give the value as 10. This is how you can create a static method as well as I'll show the other methods as well. You can create an object. The class name is I given as bikes. Create an object and then you can call calculate mileage and then the mileage you're going to pass 65 and then you have to print the values. Print off. These are the multiple ways to call a static method. But this is the preferred way. This is the preferred way. I'll say, okay, this is the preferred way to call the methods. Okay, now what I have to use, okay, it's calling it by missing one required argument. It's asking for in the bikes I have to pass value as somewhat 20 because this bike is going to call the constructor. The constructor I have to pass speed is a parameter. Speed is a parameter. We're going to get the value as 15. This is another way to call the static method. Just create an object and then call the calculate mileage and I'm going to give 65. For 65 the mileage will be 15. Okay. Now I'm going to say where to use this static method. Where to use this static method. See, mostly if you are use class method to create a factory methods. Factory methods returns class objects. Similar to constructor. In return keyword, if I use CLS, it's going to return a class object. Similar to constructor for different use cases. Second thing is, we generally use a static method to create a utility functions. For example, I wanted to write some my own logics. What I written here is I want to write some own logics. Then you can use the static method. It will be separated from the class method as well as instance methods. No need to pass any parameter. Okay. Now, next topic we're going to see what is class variables, what is instance variables. We're going to see what is class variables and what is instance variables. We're going to have one py file. We're going to have the name as class variables and static variables. Sorry, class variables versus static variables. Close others. All objects share the class or static variables. I already said to you, whenever creating an object for a particular class, whichever you have static, that is the first preference. Constructor is the second preference. A instance or a non-static variable are different for different objects. Every object will have a copy, but an instance or a non-static variable are different for different objects. Now I'm going to have one class. You belong to IT department, right? I go into the class name is I going to give IT department. IT department. The first point you have to keep in mind: static variables are allocated memory once. Allocated memory only once. When the object for a class is created for the first time. If you are creating object for a particular class, the memory will be allowed only once for the static variable. Static variables are created outside of a method but inside a class. You have to listen second point. Static variables are created outside a method but inside a class. Static variables can be accessed through a class but not directly with an instance. Third point I'm going to say is class variables can be accessed through a class name only, but not directly with the instance. And then static variables behavior does not change for every object. Okay, these are the four valid points you have to keep in mind. The first point is whenever creating an object for a particular class, the static variables allocated memory allocated only once. Static memory will be allocated only once. Second thing is static variables are created outside a method but inside a class called static variables. And third one is static variables can be accessed through the class name but not directly with the instance. And then last one I can say static variables behavior does not change for every object. Okay, see these things you can't keep in mind. I'm going to show the implementation, then I'll come to the points one by one. See, I have an IT department. What is the stream for IT department? Stream equal to IP. And then I'm going to have one constructor. In the constructor, first parameter of how to pass a class instance. And then in the IT department, I have name, roll number, name and roll number, and then I'm going to assign the instance variables. Self dot name equal to name, self dot roll number equal to roll number. You can keep x as well as you can keep y. Okay, for our understanding and keeping the same name as the instant variable as well as parameter. Now I'm going to get two objects. I'm going to create two objects for same class. I'm going to have x class instance, and then I'm going to have class name and department, and then if I using this brackets, it's going to refer the constructor. It's going to call this inbuilt constructor. I want to pass two parameters, name and age, roll number. No need to pass any self here. Okay, I want to pass name as a roll number. I'm going to pass your name, San, and then roll number is 2024. And then I'm going to get one more object, y equal to ID department Ajay, AJAY, Ajay. And then for roll number it will be 2023. 2023. Now, I want to call this stream by creating object. How will you call this variable? It's a class variable. Actually, it will be a class variable. Okay, how will you call this class variable? We call this class variable print of I want to call this variable. This variable is called class variable actually. I will call this variable x dot, because I'm creating an object for this entire class. The class initial will be x, right? I can call like this x dot stream. Now it's going to print it. For second object, I want to call the stream. How will you call? Second object, I want to call the stream. Y dot stream, I will call. Y dot stream. Fine. We are going to get it again. Now I want to call this name for first object. I will call. I want to get this name, which is variables. I will call using first object. What? X dot name, and then roll number. First object. X dot roll number, and then same for second object as well. Y dot name, and then Y dot roll number. You'll get those values. First object name will be San, roll number will be 2024. For second object, the name will be Ajay, and the value will be 2023. What is the another way to call the stream? By creating objects, we're calling the class variable. What is the another way to call this variable? The previous class as well today class, I said these things to you. There are different ways to call the methods as well variables. By creating object, you can call the variables and methods as well you can call. But I want to call this variable. How do we call? Print of class name dot method name. That's it. Class name dot method name. ID department dot stream. IT department dot stream you can call. You're going to get the values IT. The class variables can be accessed using class name. Class name dot variable name. Class variable name you can call. Now I going to little bit confuse you. I'm going to take the first class instance x dot stream equal to, I'm going to change my department ECE. Listen carefully. Previously, the class variable name is IT. I'm going to use this object class instance x dot stream equal to ECE. Now you're going to say, if I call this print x dot stream again, what result is going to give? It is going to give EC or IT. It's going to give EC or IT. I use this object class instance x dot stream equal, previously it was IT. Okay, now I change the value x dot stream equal to EC. Now I'm asking, if I call x dot stream, stream is a variable, right? It's going to give IT or EC. It's going to give EC because for this object, for this class instance only, you are changing the value. For this object, the value will be only IT. If you don't understand, I can show now. I'm going to call this print y dot stream. Only for this particular object, okay, you are changing the x dot stream equal to EC. It not going to affect the y dot stream value. Y dot stream value is going to give IT. Okay, you can see the results. You can see. Otherwise, if it's confusing for you, I can format. I can do the formatting. Now you can see the results. You can see x dot stream value will be ECE. Y dot stream will be IT. Now, again, I'm going to confuse you. I'm going to use the class name IT department dot stream. You only said you can use class name dot method name. You can, so class name dot variable name you can call. Okay, I'm going to use what department they have, triple E. Okay, if I use print x dot stream, what will be the value? I will maximize the screen. You can see I change the class name method name stream equal to triple E. If I use x dot stream, what will be the results? Triple E. What are you saying? What are the results you saying? Triple E or sorry, triple E or you are saying EC? I'm not getting your words. Triple E or EC? No. See, look at here. If you are changing class name dot variable name, your entire object value gets changed from IT to triple E. It will change. But what I given for the particular object, the class inside the changes ECE. Okay. Now x dot stream value I'll get as ECE. Let's check. You can see I'm getting ECE because if you are keep in mind, if you are changing class name dot variable name value, you're changing the value for the entire objects for x and y value, but explicitly I have specified x dot stream as ECE. That's why it's printing easy now. Now, okay. If I print y dot stream, what's the value? From my definition, can tell the answer. By putting print y dot stream, what's the answer? I already said to you triple E, because if I use class name or method name, so variable name, the entire object value will be changed. Entire object x and y will be changed from IT to triple E, because x value I getting easy because of I am explicitly giving for this object this variable will be easy. That's why getting easy. Now for this y dot stream, I going to get triple E. I going to get triple E. So I can make for understanding. You can see for x dot stream I getting easy. For a minute. Oh wait a minute. X dot stream I getting easy because I'm explicitly specifying for this class instance the variable value is easy. That's why getting easy. For y dot stream, it's going to change for the entire objects. For x and y, it's going to change. That's why getting y dot stream as triple E. Okay, don't get confused. Now, I'm going to have one more. I'm going to give one more hint to you. If you take Java, there will be static keyword will be there. Static keyword will be there. I will take one example here. Okay, I'm going to write a Java program. Pass A. Okay, I go and then yeah, I'm going to have one constructor. Constructor should be same name as class name. Okay, I'm going to have one constructor, and then I'm going to have one okay argument int a int b. Then I'm going to have one variable int a comma b. This is Java program actually. This dot a this dot b equal to b, and then static int c. Okay, now this a and b will be what variable? A and B will be what variable? It is outside of your method, right? Outside of method. I can have one more method. Public void calculate age. Calculate age. And then have one return keyword. Return 18. If I use return keyword, I have to use remove the void because I'm going to return the type as int type. Okay. If I using the variables outside the method inside the class, what's the variable name? What is the variable name? I'm asking Python. I'm asking Java. In Python, you can see if the variable declared outside the method, inside the class, what variable belongs to? I'm asking again to you if the variable declared outside the method, inside the class, what variable belongs to? The variable is called class variables. Class variables. Now, I don't want to confuse you. I'm going to make a X in the constructor. This is going to constructor. A is going to constructor. In the constructor, I'm going to have two variables x and y. If the variable is declared inside the constructor, then what variable belongs to? Instance variables. Instance variables. In the class, one variable declares static keyword. What variable belongs to?
Static variable.
Static variables. Static variables. Whenever a class gets loaded, it look for the static keyword, which are having static preference, that will be allocated memory only once. That will be allocated memory only once. First preference for static. Second preference for constructor. Because I have one constructor here. Similar to class name, right? It's constructor. Now, for this constructor, is a preference with second preference. It's going to allocate the memory. In Python, how will declare constructor? You'll use the magic methods.
Magic
That
method.
is use of like this you can do in Python. Okay. Same thing in Python. Now you're going to say what variable belongs to what is the variable? It's going to be a class variable or static variable. In
Class
Python, there is no static keyword. You have to keep in mind. In Python, there is no static keyword to declare any variable. For methods, you can use decorators. The method in static method you can mention. But for variables, you don't need to mention any static keyword. In C or C++ or Java, we can use static keywords to make a variable a class variable. Okay. But in Pythons, we don't have a preceding static keyword. We don't have a preceding static keyword or instance variables. Okay. Now, the class variables will be declared as static variables. In Python, you have to say, we can say it's a class variable or you can say it's a static variable. But in Java, we'll declare a static keyword. But here, no need to declare any static keyword before. We can call here as both class variables and static variables. Both are same. Class variables and static variables are same. Now you have to keep in mind static variables are allocated memory only once when the object for the class is created for the first time. And then static variables are created outside a method, inside a class. Here outside the method, inside class, which variable it is? I have only one stream variable. This is going to be a static variable. I can call this another name as class
class variable.
variables. Okay, that's what you can give in mind. You can say class variable or or
Static variable.
static variables. I'm going to comment these things. Now in Java program, which one is static variable?
Static keyword.
Static keyword. Which one have static keyword? This is for static variables. A comma B will be a class variables. Okay, but here we don't have any static keyword. That's why we're saying I'm saying two ways. You can say it's a class variable or static variable. Static variables acts through only a class name. That is the preferred way actually. Class variables, static variables can be accessed through only a class name. Okay, and then static variables behavior does not change for every object. See, I'm going to show this example for you. Static variable behavior does not change for every object. Now, I'm going to comment this thing. I'm going to comment this thing. Now, you're going to say what is the value of x dot stream and y dot stream. What's x dot stream, y dot stream? Whether I'm going to get the value IT or triple E.
Triple E.
I'm going to get triple E only because I giving example to you. Static variable behavior does not change for every object because I given a class name that variable name to triple E. For this both objects, the value will be triple E. For if you get different object also, value is not going to change. For every object, the value will be same. It's going to be triple E. You can see what I got, triple E. Okay. If we explicitly mention for this object using class instance, then I will get x dot stream will be C and y dot stream will be triple E. Okay, now we're going to see a few more things. What are a few more things you can see? This is nothing but static variable. Class variables are another name is static variables. Okay, keep in mind. Okay, I will ask one more question to you. How to write a empty function? How to write empty function? We'll see. Where is my directory? Where is my directory?
Pass
Tuple
keyword.
string. Make it mute. Arrays, dictionaries, iterator, loopings, oops. Okay, oops, right? Okay, fine. Yeah, we have to use the pass keyword. We have to use. Okay. We'll see how to create some empty functions. Empty function Python pass statement using pass statement. Empty functions using. You can create empty class as well. See, I'm going to create empty class. Apple using pass keyword. If you are not using pass keyword, okay, you will get some error, indentation error. You expect an indented block after class definition. After creating class, you have to give some indentation. Okay, looking for. But using pass statement, I can able to create empty class. Okay. Uh, in a Java code, how will you write empty function? Void have some variable like apply break. It's a method. This is how you can create empty function, right? Same way, I'm going to show how to create empty function. Okay, like I'm going to have one method. I can say some static method. I would use a decorator and then function underscore one. Okay, if you run the script, it's going to throw indentation error. In order to complete this empty function, you have to use the pass keyword. Okay, pass means nothing. In a local terms, I can say dummy statement. I can say dummy or nothing or empty. Anything you can say. Now, I'm going to have some boolean value equal to true, value equal to true. I'm going to have one while loop value. It's going to infinite loop actually. It's going to be a infinite loop. Okay, and then if I run this script, what will happen? The while is going to check for the condition. If it is true, it's going to inside the while loop. Nothing is going to print. Again, check for the while loop, and it's going to give nothing. Again, this while loop will run infinite number of times. See, it's still running. You can able to see. Externally, you have to kill this program. Okay, like this, you can able to create your empty functions using pass keyword. Pass means nothing but dummy or nothing. Okay, okay. Now, simple thing we're going to see how to return a multiple values. Whenever you're writing some methods or functions, sorry, whenever you're writing some functions, you have to pass multiple values. It depends on requirements. You can pass a return type a single value. Sometimes you pass multiple values. Okay. Now we're going to see. We're going to have all the data types, list, dictionaries, how to return multiple return values using list as well as dictionary. We're going to see how to return a multiple values. Returning multiple values, multiple values, those others. There are different ways to return a multiple values. First one is you can create an object. I'm going to show now. How to return a multiple values I'm going to show now. First you want to create if you want to create any object, what the first thing you have to do? You have to create a class, and then definitely for creating object you have to initialize a constructor using magic methods. I'm going to have one instant variable with a hard coded value. Set.x equal to 20, set.y equal to 30. Otherwise, I can keep 20 as apple. Now, I'm going to have one function that going to return as an object of the fruits class. How to return an object using method? How to return an object using method? Okay, don't use any self keyword. You don't need to use self keyword. Make the method as declarator as static method. And then what I'm going to do? I'm going to return the object. This is going to the last. Okay, I'm going to return as an object, class object. I'm going to return as a class object. I want to use this class name. This is how you want to return as an object of a class fruits. Okay, if someone calls this method, I'm going to return. I'm going to return this class object. Return of fruits of. It's going to constructor actually. Okay, the fruits is class name. It's going to constructor. This is going to call this method x and y value. What's x and y value now? What's x and y value?
Is 30.
X1 is apple, y is 30. Okay, now what I did is a static method. I am returning as an object for this particular class. Now I am going to show how to return a multiple values. Okay, for that, what I am going to do? What I am going to do? I am going to call this method. How to call this method? How to call the static method? What is the preferred way to call static method? What is the preferred way to call the static method? I'm asking you. Class name dot. What is the class name? Class name dot method name. Method name is function one. Assigned to one variable t. Okay. Then one variable t. Now I am going to have the multiple values t dot x because I'm returning an object for this fruit class. Okay, it's going to call this constructor. It's going to return uh, t dot x value will be apple, and then t dot y will be 30. You can see apple and 30. Like this, you can get a static method and then For this entire class, you can create a object, okay, that I going to return what going to happen. This fruit method is going to call this constructor, and then it's going to pick the x and y values, x and y values. If you're not able to do like this, you can make self dot x equal to x, self dot y equal to y. The parameter you have to pass x comma x comma y can pass, and then in fruits definitely have to pass values. For x are going to pass apple, y going to pass 20. Whenever someone call this method, it is going to call this constructor. The constructor x value are going to assign as apple, and then 20 are going to assign as y are going to assign 20. Let's see. Are going to get apple and 20 as a result. This is how you can return the multiple values from a function. See, from this function, I'm getting multiple values t dot x and t dot y. These are the multiple values that I can get through the function. Okay, fine. I close the session as of now. I want to show so many different examples for dictionaries, list, tuples. We'll see it tomorrow. As of now, I am signing off this session.